The goal gradient effect is a fascinating psychological principle where people tend to increase their effort when they first get started on a goal and then increase their effort again as they get closer to achieving that goal. In this 444, I'm diving into the goal gradient effect and 4 ways you can use it to supercharge your financial planning. And they are better goal setting, improved progress tracking, enhanced persistence, and greater satisfaction. So here's the thing. We're typically much more motivated either when we first get going on our journey towards a goal or when we're nearing completion. That's the goal gradient effect. But there's that bit in between that I like to call the messy middle. We feel we've invested too much time and effort to just give up, but we can't see how we're ever going to get to the finish line. This is where most people usually give up, and this is why I think there's a motivation myth. Mel Robbins, in her brilliant book, The High Five Habit, says something wonderful about motivation. She says this: motivation is rubbish because motivation is never there when you need it. Just think about that for a moment. Motivation is never there when you need it. When do we need motivation? We need the motivation to keep us going exactly at the moment when we've lost the motivation that could keep us going. Like she says, motivation is rubbish. The best coach educator that you've almost certainly never heard of is Mark Bennett of PDS Coaching, and he puts it this way: the difference between those that succeed and those that give up is that those that succeed put a framework in place that keeps them going long after the motivation that got them started in the first place has disappeared. In short, the goal gradient effect means that the closer you are to the start or end of achieving something, the harder you're likely to work for it. But in the messy middle, well, that's when most of us give up. So what benefit does knowing about the goal gradient effect bring us? Knowing about this effect can help us set more effective financial goals by breaking down larger, long-term goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. We create multiple finish lines. This approach leverages the goal gradient effect multiple times, keeping you consistently motivated throughout your financial journey. The snowball method for debt repayment is a great example of the goal gradient effect in action. This is where the focus is on the repayment of the smallest debt first, with the minimum payments on all the others. This creates a mini finish line that's not too far away. Once this debt is repaid, the focus turns to the next smallest debt, and the monthly repayment amount from the first debt is snowballed into the next one. The debt repayment snowballs until the largest debt is being repaid. The drive to succeed comes from the goal gradient effect. Seeing the smallest debt reduce delivers the motivation to keep going. Mathematically, this is not necessarily the most cost-effective method for repaying debt. That would be repaying the debt with the highest interest rate first, and then the debt with the next highest interest rate, and so on until the debt is repaid. But this method is less effective at repaying debt because it doesn't exploit the goal gradient effect. The goal gradient effect encourages better progress tracking. When we're aware that seeing progress is a great source of motivation, we'll be more likely to regularly check in on our financial goals and monitor and measure our progress towards them. This increased awareness can lead to better financial decisions and quicker course corrections when needed, which will lead to better financial outcomes. Here's another hack that we can use to help us when motivation has waned. Associate yourself with the behavior. For example, if our goal is saving for a comfortable retirement, like mine is, and things are getting a bit tight, as they always do, and we're thinking it would be good if we could just press pause for a few months, then describe yourself as a pension saver and then ask yourself, what would a successful pension saver do if they were faced with the same choices? If you're a pension saver, then saving for your retirement each month is just something that someone like you does automatically without even thinking about it. This shift in thinking might be enough to keep us saving more, spending less, or a combination of both. That, short of winning big on the lottery, is the fastest way to financial independence. Understanding the goal gradient effect can help us persist through financial challenges. When we hit a rough patch or feel like giving up, remembering that our motivation will naturally increase as we get closer to our goal. This can give us the push we need to keep going. In the messy middle, it's about keeping going with the behaviours. Building a habit and maintaining our streak is another great way to create the drive to keep going when the motivation that got us started is gone. In 2018, I decided at the 5th attempt to commit to a daily mindfulness program. 2,190 consecutive days of mindfulness later, I now can't miss a session because I now don't want to break my streak. You know, the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, and then just got to keep going. Rome wasn't built in a day, but some of it was. So get started and keep going. Remember that the reason we're able to sit in the shade today is because a long time ago, someone planted a seed that grew into a tree. Finally, leveraging the goal gradient effect can lead to greater satisfaction on our financial planning journey. As we hit those smaller milestones and feel that surge of motivation, we'll experience more frequent wins, making the entire process of financial planning more enjoyable and more rewarding. And you never know, as a result, you might reach financial independence a few years earlier. Understanding and applying the goal gradient effect to our financial planning can be a game changer. It can improve our goal setting, enhance our progress tracking, increase our persistence, and ultimately lead to greater satisfaction in our journey towards financial independence. Remember, financial planning is a marathon, not a sprint. By leveraging psychological principles like the goal gradient effect, you can make that marathon feel more manageable and rewarding. Now, we're looking to grow this channel so more people like you can find our content on YouTube, so it'd be great if you could hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. And let me know in the comments any wins you've had by using the goal gradient effect for your own financial planning journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.